Hi, camera.
Yay, technology!
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our intro on Spirits of the Earth that Adriana and I are going to be doing an intro on. And we just wanted to give you a tiny little taste of what's possible with Spirits of the Earth.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And I want to give some backstory too, because Aditi and I are both talk to the entities facilitators, which is a specialty of access consciousness. And we were in Romania actually at another class. And our conversation around Earth First, I had no idea. People just, a lot of like different healers and facilitators and practitioners that do different things, but you don't always know like what their specialty is. I really got from that amazing conversation that you and I had, like how gifted you are with this particular aspect of entity awareness. You're just very attuned to spirits of the earth. And I think it's super cool. And that's partly why I'm like so excited to be having not just this conversation right now, but for the class that we're doing next week to really be exploring that territory with you.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. You know what? Actually, I keep forgetting about that conversation, but sometimes it would pop up because I'd notice these like creatures around me that just go hi, and like after the conversation where we created this intro together, I had to like really like sit and be present, and I was like, oh yeah, we did that. We had, because like it's easy to go, oh, I don't really want to look at that right now, but it's like the this creation between that we were playing with, and it was like I had to start acknowledging them again, and it's been so much fun again. It's like I rediscover it in a very different way every time. What have you noticed since then? Like what's like different? Or
I think I'm just more, well, I have to confess, I live in a city. I live in San Francisco. And as a psychologist who works with people all day long, I sometimes get sucked into the world of people.
yeah,
And I'm not always attuned to particularly these entities, the entities of the earth, the spirits of the earth. I often will work with spirits like the loved ones of people who have passed, of my clients, like they show up to the session, or I have clients who, I work with addictions, and so we have people who, are dealing with different things related to that. But the earth spirits, sometimes I forget they're there. And I realized like over the weekend how I was feeling a little burnt out with people and like the human reality and needing a break, and realizing how much I missed going in nature, like being physically in nature, and how like I had kind of cut off my awareness of the nature spirits, where in the past, even here in the city, I would be more in communion with them, and I had sort of lost that. So I went, even this morning, I went for a walk just in the park, and I started like noticing the trees and noticing who and what was in the trees. And like, I noticed like, in a city, a lot of the earth spirits, there may not be as many of them in some cities, right?
yeah,
But I still perceive that there were some, but especially, and I thought this was so cool, Aditi, by the children's playground. The most earth
yeah.
I could perceive were in these bushes and in this area with the trees around where the kids were playing. And I thought, oh, they like that energy. They like that energy of the children being happy and joyful. I don't know. I just thought that was really cool. So I really have been excited about this conversation for myself to get reconnected. And for us too, to talk about how you don't necessarily need to even be in nature to communicate with and receive from earth spirits either. That's not a requirement.
Because I like till about 6 months ago, I was living in a very closed, like it's only buildings, and they were very like there were a few trees, but it wasn't like a lot of them. But I recently moved. When I moved, I actually, the way I found this house was with entities, and what I didn't acknowledge till yesterday was most of them were actually entities of the earth, the spirits of the earth.
Yeah.
because there's this open space in front of my house with trees. Like everywhere I look, I can see trees, and it's just this, and there's the ocean like just a little bit further than that. And
Mm.
I realized like how much like the water sprites were playing and the earth spirits were playing. In fact, yesterday I acknowledged the like there's this space of generation, like this generative portal, and I acknowledged it and I said hi, and then suddenly like it's been raining since then, and I was like, whoa, it's like that. It's like that instantaneous magic that's available when you like acknowledge
Yeah.
what like the energies that are around, like the entities. And it's like it's not even entities like I can specifically like identify and say this is what they are, but it's like that energy is there, like wherever they're from, they're like hi, and it's just so beautiful to live in that.
It's a really light kind of energy is what I find. Like where the world of people, especially again, being so immersed in
Yeah,
with people, the world of people can be very heavy. It can be a lot of trauma, drama, upsets of all kinds. And today when I was walking in the park, it was like between the children and the nature spirits. And again, yeah, I don't always have a clear sense of them, even just the birds in the trees, because they're spirits too, right? Like with
yeah,
bodies that we can
yeah,
see and hear. But like I just noticed that their vibrations just seem so much lighter and sort of open and spacious and playful. And I find that true of a lot of the earth spirits, of the fairies and the pixies and the sprites and they especially I find have that real playful, almost like hummingbird kind of energy. If you
yeah.
will, it feels a little bit like that sometimes.
Yeah, and it's like so easy to like shut off that and go, oh, it's only in books and fantasy movies and stories and TV serials, but it's not something that's always available. But that's not actually true. It's actually always available, because like I always take a break from time to time from my computer and from my work and go outside and just like like stand in the balcony and watch the birds fly. Because like I have like there are like eight or nine different kinds of birds that just come and like sit in the tree in front of our house, and I'll just go say hi to them, and like I know them now. Like I have like this one friend that is on time. Like it's amazing how on time that bird will be, but he'll be right there and I'll just be like hi. And
Mhm.
it's like that energy of, and it's, and the more that we actually acknowledge that space and not like tap into that space with the birds, with the trees, with those energies, it's like the gift that it can be for your body as well as your like your entire life. It's like there's no separation. And it's like when I realize how much when we go into the world of people, like there's that separation, that can be that separation. And it's like taking a moment to actually acknowledge the communion is such a gift, like in not just acknowledging those spirits, but it's like actually strengthening the their energy, and like making it substantial with like for the earth. Like how much does the earth require us to acknowledge these energies and entities and spirits for more of that to show up?
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of them have gone away, from places where people are. It's almost like, like it's the same with animals, right? Like when we tear down their habitat, when we cut down trees to build houses and all of that, like we took over like humans did, right? They took
Yeah,
over those lands, and a lot of them, have hidden from the people. But they're still there, and they still have a huge. This is why, like, why do people feel good when they're out in nature, right? Like, there's two reasons, I think. One is because you tend to be away from people, and people are the ones whose minds are always going. People are the ones who are
yeah,
judging, making everything right or wrong, and polarized. They have this polarized kind of charged energy a lot of times. And then you go in nature, and it's like, right? Peaceful, expansive. Why? Trees don't judge you. The river doesn't judge you. Animals don't judge you. It's like you have that sense, like you said, of oneness. There's no real separation. like people do. And so you can lean up against a tree, or one of my favorite things to do is to lay in water, like float in the ocean and have the
Yeah.
sun beaming down on me and have the wave, like the ocean underneath me. That's when I feel like oneness the most.
Yeah, and it's also, it's like, it's not like the it's like there's a sense of consistency when you're in a human, in like when you're around a lot of people like this, like this is how you do things, and it's like it's more like of a very structured, ordered, like energy. And when you move into that space with these spirits, with the earth, with like, I mean, living near I realize like I need to live near the water for me, because it's like there's chaos, there's constant movement. I can sense it, like my body senses it, and there's a calmness in that, which I don't get from living like far away from it. Like if I can see the ocean, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
That's my happy space, and my body's happy. And so when I started looking at it, I was like, wow, even with the birds, like even if they're sitting in one place, they're not still, like they keep moving. And it's like even the leaves keep moving, the wind keeps moving. And so it's like when you actually acknowledge that, and you acknowledge that space of like that quiet, beautiful chaos, like how much does, like that's where I realize like how much, that's where the spirit, the spirits of the earth function from. Like that's that connection, that communion with the earth that we know we like, but we don't actually acknowledge it as that. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's hard to talk about this stuff. I mean, I think that's one of the challenges sometimes. I mean, it's already like a woo-woo kind of weird topic. And I think this one in particular can be some of the more difficult. I mean, it's easy to talk about spirits, in the form of like somebody who's died, a person who had a body, who's
Yeah.
now died, who's hanging around for whatever reason. Like that's easier for people to understand. But I think when we start talking about this, sometimes the energies we're referring to, they don't have words,
Yep.
right? It's like,
Yep.
but what is it like? Remember what it was like the last time you put your hands on a tree. Get
Yeah.
that energy, right? Or when you were sitting by a body of water, whether it's the ocean or a river or stream or something, and just the water, the sound of that water trickling, or the waves, and like there's something very, like you said, something really beautiful, something really nurturing. I feel like in the space of that, and in the presence of that, I can relax. I don't have to like be thinking in my head about anything.
And that's where that magic starts, right? Like that's where the magic is. Like a couple of days ago, my mom like injured herself, and she's in bed, and like I'm not used to lifting her up and putting like keeping taking care of her like that, and I had to do that. And yesterday, like I was having like a really weird time with my, no, day before yesterday, I was having a really weird time with my body. And so I was like, oh, what's it gonna take, and then I suddenly noticed like this energy, like of fairies, and of like the tree sprites and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, hi. And they just like touched my body. And this is going to sound really like crazy, and probably I don't give a flipping whatever. And it's like there's this gentleness, like I suddenly started noticing like these waves on my body, and like it was like somebody was touching me, and something was touching my body exactly where it was hurting. And it just like opened that space up with my body, and I relaxed, and I slept, and I hadn't slept like so well in a while. So after that, like the night before, last night, which by the way, it's early in the morning for me, this is like the best time that the both of us had for this.
Yes, as it's getting dark here.
And so I like last night, I lay in bed, and I'm like, are you guys still around? Like, are you there? And they were there, and like the way they like gently caressed my body, I was like, oh.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like that. It's like when you're willing to receive like those, and that like what those earth spirits can show you, can like what they can contribute to you. And when you're willing to receive it, it's like how much joy is there in that. And like, yeah, it's like, how much do you like kill an energy if you don't acknowledge it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if you acknowledged it, how alive can they be?
And how much more does it like magnify when you do that? Like when you, like gratitude is like that, right? When you're grateful for
Yeah.
something and you express your gratitude, it grows and then it attracts and then it magnifies and all of that. I think it's a similar thing here. And the
Yeah.
thing is, like we don't even have to be physically, like you brought it up there. We don't have to be out in nature to actually receive from. You can invite them here with you. You can certainly do that. And you can also, the thing about energy is it's non-local. We could like connect with, like you're in India and I'm here, and yes, we're connected over the internet, but if we weren't, I could still connect with you energetically, even though you're
Yeah.
halfway around the world. People don't realize that. Like you start getting into quantum physics and you really start getting deep into it, there's
Yeah.
some really amazing stuff that like is beyond anything we can comprehend with this thing.
Yeah. And it's like science tells us everything is made up of molecules. That's energy. Like everything is made up of that. So it's like my body is made up of that. Your like your house, your walls, and all of it is made up of that. And so is the air. And so it's like how many spirits, like how many of those energies are like actually alive in the world around you, in the molecules around you. And like if you just put a little bit of attention and energy, just a little bit
Mm-hmm.
on that, like how much do you strengthen that?
Yeah. Yeah. And just think
And
of
that
like,
expands.
yeah, it's so cool. I'm just thinking, like, as you were talking, I was thinking about what it smells like when you smell a flower, right? When you get present with like, even if they're cut roses in your house, and
Yeah.
and you get present with that beautiful flower and you smell it, it's like, what is and that's energy, right? You're taking that smell is molecules and it's going in your nose and it's going in your body. And have you ever had this like, almost like an orgasmic kind of like energy
Yeah.
when you inhale that? That's kind of what we're talking about in a sense, right? That we could just invite and pull in those energies from the earth, from the nature spirits, from the trees and the plants, the animals, even all of it, bodies, without bodies, but we can pull that energy in and we can allow it to excite us and thrill us and heal our bodies. And I mean, there's so many different ways we can play with these energies.
Yeah. And it's like this is like I don't know if you can see this, but this is like a little leprechaun that somebody gave me like years ago, but and he hangs in every single house in my room. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like this is one of the ways, and it's like I know it's solid, but it's like one of the ways that I keep in like I kept in in touch with that energy of entities. It's so weird. He's like talking to me right now. I can hear it. And it's like and it's like even in that house that I was in before, it's like like even though I was like not comfortable in that house, like this the like every time I just looked at that one, I would like just smile and my body would relax. And it's like if you're looking to like have that relaxation and have like more of that receiving, what energies, what entities, what magic is available that you can just like breathe in.
Yeah. And what if it was that simple?
Yeah.
This isn't like a big complicated thing, where you have to like get into like you chant for 10 minutes and get into an altered state of consciousness, like I think it's so funny. I was in a training once for working with people who have, with other therapists, working with people who like hear voices and see things and whatever in a non-pathological way. And they're like, they were so under the impression that like a medium or a channel or that people have to go into this like they have to do a ritual and go into this altered state to be able to commune. I'm like, no, I'm like talking to them and talking to you right now at the same time. It doesn't
Yeah.
require anything special, anything. It
Yeah.
just maybe a little bit of practice. And I think one of the things that we want to offer in this class next week is give people a chance, do some exercises, right? Give people some practice with inviting different spirits in, and let's meet some nature spirits. Like in one of my talk to the entities classes once, I had we were doing an exercise with nature spirits, and I'm like, all right, now invite in the energy of a tree, a tree spirit. Now let's
Yeah.
play with a fairy. Now let's ask some gnomes to come. And it was so cool because these were all just people in the class who wouldn't have said like I'm super psychic or anything, but they all had a felt sense of those different energies, and they could perceive differences between the different types of beings that we were playing with. So I thought that was super fun and informative. So I'm happy to do, if people want to do stuff like that in this workshop we're going to offer, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, and it's like, are you willing to have like truly, are you willing to have the magic? And if you are, like, this is like a great place to start, and that's what we really want to put our energy on, is the magic of it, and like strengthening the magic that is all around us.
Yeah.
Like, how much easier would it make your life if you would acknowledge the magic that's available,
that we are too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. So, in Talk to the Entities classes, we talk about how with the spirits we can communicate with them, we can clear them, we can receive from them, and we can collaborate with them. And so I think that also will probably inform our conversation too. It's like, what all can we do with this? So we're aware of these, maybe we're aware of these spirits, maybe not, but like, then what do we do with it? Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that will be fun for us to talk about as well.
I'm so excited. I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we check? I'm not on Facebook right now. Can we check to see if anybody's like put in a comment or a question? You guys can totally do that. Type in your comments if you want to ask us something.
You can let us know.
You're watching, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just checking.
Okay. I think Aditi is more savvy with the technology than I am.
Aditi is still learning about this.
Yes. So basically, let's just tell people about the class. So next Tuesday, April 20th here in the United States, the 21st for you, yeah?
No, it's the same day.
Oh, it is the same day.
Yes. It was an awesome, like, we figured out a time that works for both of us on the same day.
Okay.
It was a lot of work, people. Time is not something that we
have a link that says your time in the world. Check that. Because it's a confusing time difference between me and Aditi. It's a 12.5-hour time difference. So we have a link that will help you figure out when this is in your neck of the woods. But it'll be morning time for San Francisco, and it'll be evening time in India. And if you're in Europe, it'll be roughly, in the evening-ish time as well. Yeah. Right? Okay. Yeah. So, and we're basically doing, so this is a Talk to the Entities specialty class, an intro class on spirits of the earth. And we'll go for maybe a couple hours. Yeah. Yep.
That'll be fun. I'm actually I'm excited now. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Because you can perceive that energy, see? And how much do the nature spirits themselves want to communicate with us and play with us? Like, they're also part of this conversation right now, right?
Yeah. And it's like if you can just tap in for a moment and perceive how excited they are, like, oh my God, you really want to learn more about this? Come.
Yeah.
That energy. They're like, yes.
Yeah. Some of them are really excited. Some of them are like, ugh, people, whatever. But some of them are actually really like us and and they like kids especially. So they like that playful energy is what I've noticed.
Yeah.
And then the very nurturing. I'm also feeling a vibration of really just soothing, nurturing, peaceful, serenity sensation,
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to exploring this with you and hearing more about your experiences, because I know you've had some amazing experiences. And the other thing too that would be fun for us to talk about is different areas, different places in the world have different kinds of nature spirits.
Yeah,
and
that would be fun.
Yeah, we've had the chance to travel a lot, both of us, around the world. And I definitely have experienced different things in different places. So I think that might be cool to talk about as well.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
All right. Well, cool. I think if nobody has any questions or comments, let's go ahead and sign off for now. We'll put the link in the comments for so that you guys know where to go if you want to register or find out more about the class. Feel free to message me or Aditi if you have questions about any of it. But yeah, what are the infinite possibilities for what we can explore and create?
What fun can we have?
Thanks, everyone.